Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies, entertainment only. First of all, I'd just like to apologise for those that found my use of the term mental health issues as unpleasant. It just highlights the difference between the two countries. In Australia, mental health issues mean both physical, as in developmental, neurological, as well as psychological as well. So I do apologise. I do understand the difference between the two countries, and I'm just putting out a warning there that there may be terms that I use over the next several months that may make you feel uncomfortable. Please just understand that we are different countries and we have different terminologies. An example of which is the use of disability. Apparently it's commonly used in the US. It is a term that makes Australians very uncomfortable because in Australia we see it as saying that the particular people do not have abilities, because dis is no and ability. Speaking of which, Paralympics start this week. Woohoo! Guess what's going to be on my telly? Absolutely heartwarming and so much joy and encouragement behind the Paralympics. So just be aware. I don't mind having pointed out, but please don't get cranky at me for using a term in a way that is slightly different, because there may be more than one that comes up over the next 5 or so months, as things are going to get wild with the US elections, which are very important to the rest of the democratic world, and that's why I'm focusing on them at the moment. Okay, RFK. Yes, I did stumble and say JFK the other day. The human in me gets in the way sometimes, and I must admit I was watching Linda G over the weekend and she also stumbled and said JFK. It's just because of our upbringing, JFK was the term that was all part of our upbringing, but RFK. So RFK has quit taken his name off the ballot in swing states only, I believe. In the highly blue or the highly red states, no, he's kept himself on there, from what I understand. I don't know how that works. I mean, surely federally you're either on or off, you're in or out. There's no grey, but whatever. Again, highlighting a lot of changes that need to happen in the American Constitution in regards to elections. But that's cool, because until we find out, they can't be changed. Basically because in the past, so the Constitution was very much based on honest people. So throw in these dishonest ones and it's getting really tested to its limits. Okay, so RFK has quit. His family immediately came out and a statement saying, "We got nothing to do with this dude. He's a crazy nutter." Oh, that's me ad-libbing. Apparently, RFK, according to insider information, had tried to contact the Democratic Party first to offer his services in exchange for a place in government. The Democratic Party just talked to the hand. So therefore he turned around and offered himself up to the Trump campaign. And Trump said, "Oh, yes, please," thinking that RFK's votes in these particular swing seats, or his supporters in these swing seats, will come over to Trump. And I'm just going to point out that most of RFK's supporters went to RFK because they couldn't bring themselves to vote for Trump, couldn't stand Trump, but they also couldn't shift over to Democratic either. So I don't feel that RFK is actually going to bring votes with him. Don't even know if he's going to bring money with him, because he is sort of going a bit loony bins. Okay. Now, the timing, when I was looking at this morning, the timing of the announcement was an attempt to take the gloss off the DNC. Big fail. Yeah, if you're a Trump supporter, yeah, rah, 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 a couple of news cycles, but it didn't take any gloss off the momentum of the DNC, unlike the Biden announcement for Harris after the RNC. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm using my Gilded Tarot Royale. Sorry it's taken me so long to get to throwing some cards, but let's have a look. Let's have a look. Will RFK joining make a difference to the Trump campaign? Will the RFK make a difference to the Trump campaign? Yeah, Spot, my white dog over there. If you're wondering why he's called Spot, on his back you can sort of see a bit of a shadow there. He's got a big black spot on his back. That's why he's called Spot. My 12-year-old, goodness knows what he is. Okay, so will it make a difference to the Trump campaign? Mm-hmm. Isolation, introspection, snake in the path, stopping the forward movement. So I think yes. I mean, look at the craggy path that this dude is on. Looks like it's about to crumble from underneath him at any moment that this hermit is on. But snake in the path. So there may be a very short uppick, but it's built on unsteady ground and then it's being brought to a stop. Oh, yicky, yicky. RFK joining the Trump campaign, chaining himself to this devil energy. Cannot end good for him. Ugh. I mean, was very seductive, was very alluring. Not quite sure. Okay, thank you. They remind my guides, if you hear them, they're so chatty today. They're reminding me of when I was watching this on the news the other day. It was a very brief segment. That what immediately sprung to mind when I saw it was that RFK, for whatever reason, sees himself as what he's wanting. Okay, thank you. It's not that he sees himself. What he is desperate for is to set himself or appear to be the leader, the king of Camelot. I'm just going to say, interesting way of putting it. Now, the reason why okay, thank you. The Kennedy Empire with John F. Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy, Robert's father, it was seen as a type of King Arthur's Camelot. They could do no wrong. They lived in a golden era, etc. I'm getting that RFK sees himself as installing himself on the throne of Camelot. Okay, but it's a ruin. Thank you. I've just got my eyes closed. I'm picturing him. He's seated himself on a throne, but the throne is in a ruin. Okay, so this is why he's done this. Two major arcana, foundation, desperately trying to bring his ship into port. It could be there's some money issues here as well, but it's also a moral decision. Okay, thank you. Sold his soul to try and bring his bedraggled ship into port. Loving that my 21-year-old daughter rewatching on DVD of all things. Goodness me, this is going back in time. The Pirates of the Caribbean. We watched the second movie last night. And she's picking up all the nuances that she didn't pick up when she was 10 or 12 or whatever it was, and it's quite interesting to watch. But yeah, I'm really getting the feeling this is a black pearl type ship with its patch sails and its bedraggled rotting planks, etc. He's desperately trying to bring his own black pearl into harbour. Okay, in the past, moderation, balance, balancing fire with water, but it's in the past. So thank you. RFK appearing as a alternative moderate candidate, remembering he came out, wanted to be a Democrat, get the Democrat presidency nod, then he went to independent, and now he's gone to the Republican side. Yeah, his appearance, again, another major arcana, of a moderate is now in the past. He's basically shot himself in the foot. Okay, let's see where this goes. Crowning this reading, he will. The energy is a decision, a plan moment about which way he wanted to go forward. This is the here and now, and he had some decisions that he needed to make. And one path forward was the path of strength and light, and the other path was down into the darkness and the thicket. So, yeah, he had a decision to make, and he chained himself to the devil. There's nothing more to say about that. In the immediate future, the sword of truth being drawn from the scabbard. So there is a major, it's a double-edged sword, major truth coming for RFK. How's it going to affect the Trump campaign? Well, the sword of truth is going to be pulled out. No denying of it. Externally, oligarchical money, so there may be some money that does come in, but it's also the end of a cycle as well, the end of a legacy cycle. And internally, hard work going on behind the scenes to try and raise money, so do not be surprised. Almost like Trump's going to appear with RFK as if RFK is his vice president pick, not Vance. And it's all about raising money. Hopes and fears, end of a cycle for him, end of a cycle, end of a cycle, end of a cycle, end of a chapter, the outcome. Finding himself really restricted by the truth of it, the fool, and emotionally overwhelming and cleansing. I'm going to say foolishness. We've got here plotting and planning about money. It's always all about money, but then a decision needs to be made, and we've got moving on the base. We've got the abuse of power, the win at any cost. I'm surprised the Knight of Pentacles hasn't come out, which is my mercenary card. I noticed I was watching a reading on the weekend and can't remember who read on it, but they did pull that Knight of Pentacles. You can hear that spot going over to his bed into the lounge area. But yeah, the abuse of power, the win at any cost, the lies, the deceit, but the wheel is turning, a harsh truth, the moon, secrets being exposed, but also the lunacy card, finding himself out in the cold, the heavy burden, and walking away. So, no, it's not going to end well for Robert Kennedy Jr. Basically, he made his bed. He did it for money, and he's just going to have to live with it. So I'm going to leave it there. Tied himself to the devil for the sake of money, and it's not going to end up well for him. C'est la vie. Okay, love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.